Welcome to Bible Story Time. My name is Elizabeth. Today we will be learning about Jacob. Now Jacob is the son of Isaac. Do you remember last story how we talked about Abraham and Sarah and how God blessed them with the son Isaac in their old age? Today we're going to be learning about Jacob and his family and his story, as God taught him so much about when he was feeling jealous, when he tricked and deceived. That means he lied about something, he lied about himself. And then we're also going to learn about forgiveness. So let's go ahead and read from Genesis chapter 25. This story starts off with Isaac and Rebekah, who he married. They are about to have a child. Not just one child, they are about to have two. That's right, Jacob was a twin. Esau was born first, and then Jacob was born second. Let's read. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, that meant that when Rebekah was ready to give birth to her sons, behold, there were twins in her womb. There were twins in her belly. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. He was really hairy and red. And they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out. His hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. So, this is very important to understand. Esau was born first. He was the oldest. Jacob was born second. He was the youngest son. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. He was very smart when he went to hunt. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. So, although they were born on the same day, they were very different from each other. It said that Esau liked to be outside in the fields, and he liked to hunt, maybe with a bow and arrow, or with a big spear, or something that he used, a slingshot maybe. He liked to hunt. And Jacob, he didn't like to hunt very much. He liked to stay inside, and maybe he helped Rebekah, his mother, cook food, or maybe he helped make tents. Who knows? It doesn't say all what Jacob really was good at doing. But it does say that they were very different from each other. And Jacob was very smooth, and Esau was very hairy. And that's very important to know too in our story. So today, our story begins with Jacob cooking a big pot of bean soup, and it smelled so good. Esau had just come back from hunting, and he was starving. He was so hungry. He might have been gone for a couple of days, and maybe he didn't have anything to eat. He came back, and he was so hungry. He smelled the bean soup, and he said, "Jacob, please give me some of your bean soup," Esau said. So here's a picture of Jacob and Esau. And Jacob, he was a tricky person. He said, "I will give you some bean soup if you give me your birthright." Okay, time out on our story. What is a birthright? Well, I'm glad you asked that question. The firstborn, usually boy in the family, would always get a blessing from the father, which is called the birthright. They would get everything that the daddy owned. All of the animals, all of the land, all of his possessions, everything would go to the oldest boy. And so Jacob could have been a little bit jealous of Esau, and so he wanted to get his blessing. He wanted to get the birthright. Well, this was a tricky way to get the birthright, was to sell his bowl of soup. And so Esau said, okay, time back in. So Esau said, please give me some soup. Please give me some soup. I want some soup. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Jacob said, sell me. Give me your birthright. Esau said, okay, sure. What good is a birthright now that I'm hungry when I can get a bowl of soup? And so Jacob smiled and said, you've got to shake on it. We've got to do our pinky promise and our fist bump and all of our secret handshake. And you can't break this promise. So Esau said, sure, it's fine. Just give me a bowl of soup. I'm so hungry. So Jacob gave him a bowl of soup. And from that point on, in Jacob's mind, the birthright was his. Because Esau was so foolish to just agree on and swear to give over his birthright. So years later, Esau may have forgotten it. Isaac, their dad, never heard about that promise that Esau gave his birthright over to Jacob. So Isaac, their daddy, had no idea. Well, years later, Isaac was going blind. He couldn't see anymore. And he knew that he was getting close to dying. So he called in Esau and said, Esau, come here, please. Come here, son. So Esau comes in and says, yes. And Isaac says, go out and hunt and bring back the best meat so that we can eat together and I will bless you. And another time out on our story, Esau was Isaac's favorite son because not only was he the oldest, he also would always bring Isaac food back to eat, and Isaac loved his food and loved Esau for it. Now, Rebekah, their mother, loved Jacob the most, and she overheard Isaac telling Esau that he was going to bless him. So after Esau, time back in the story, after Esau goes away to go hunt, Rebekah calls Jacob. Jacob, come here. He says, what, mother? She said, Esau's going out now. Esau's going to go hunt, and he's going to bring back some meat for Isaac to eat so he can bless him. But I want you to be blessed instead. And she told him to go bring some meat so she can cook it for Isaac. And Jacob said, that won't work because Esau is hairy. I'm not hairy. Whenever Isaac, my father, whenever he feels my arms, he will know it's me because I'm very smooth. When he feels my neck, I'm very smooth skin. I'm not hairy like Esau. Rebekah said, don't worry about it. Your mother will take care of it. Go find the meat. So Jacob brings back meat and Rebekah cooks up something really yummy. And then she takes goat hair and she puts it on Jacob's arms and hands and neck. And then she said, now take this food and go into your father and say that you are Esau and that you're ready to be blessed. So Jacob takes the bowl or plate of food and walks into the tent and says, hi, Dad, it's me, Esau. And Esau said, wow, or it's me. Isaac says, wow, Esau, you've come back so quickly. And Jacob, pretending to be Esau and tricking his father, said, oh yes, it's because God blessed me and led me to a deer to kill. And I've come back and my name is Esau and I'm ready to be blessed. Well, Isaac said, you don't sound like Esau. You sound like Jacob. Come over here. I need to feel your hands to make sure it's really you. So Jacob walks over and Isaac feels Jacob's arms and says, well, your voice is like Jacob, but your arms and your neck, you feel like Esau. Also, guess what Rebecca did? Rebecca got Esau's coat and clothes and put it on Jacob, so Jacob would smell like Esau as well. So Isaac hugged Jacob and said, "You also smell like Esau as well." So Isaac said, "I'm going to go ahead and eat this yummy food and then I will bless you." So Isaac ate all of his food and then he laid his hand on Jacob's head and said, "You will be blessed." Well, Jacob left, and then a while later, Esau comes back with his food, with his meat. And he comes in the tent, and Isaac, their daddy, said, "Why are you here? You just came, I just blessed you. Why are you here again?" And Esau said, "No, I wasn't. That was probably Jacob you blessed. That wasn't me." And so Isaac, the daddy, was so confused. He said, "No, I'm supposed to bless and give the birthright to you. You're the oldest." And Esau was angry. He said, "No, you gave it to Jacob. What can you give me?" And Isaac said, "I can't give you anything. I already gave everything to Jacob." So Esau was so angry. And he said to himself, "Whenever my daddy dies, and after he's gone, I'm going to kill Jacob. I'm going to kill him because he stole my birthright." Well, Rebecca overheard what Esau said, and she told Jacob again. She said, "You better run. You better go away, because Esau, I heard him that he is going to kill you. So you better run away, run back to where my family lives." That's what Rebecca said. He left, and when he got to where his mother Rebecca's family lived, he saw a beautiful girl, and her name was Rachel. And Jacob told her who he is, and Rachel runs back to her daddy Laban. And Jacob said, "I am going to work here for you. I am part of your family. I want to stay here, and I'm going to work for you." So Laban said, "Well, what can I give you for like a payment?" And Jacob thought and said, "I really want to marry Rachel." And so Laban said, "Okay, but you have to work 7 years for Rachel." So Jacob said, "I'll do it. I love her so much." So Jacob worked and worked and worked for 7 years. And then when the wedding time came, there was a big party. And the bride, that means the wife, the woman, was always covered in a veil, just like this. They wore veils at weddings. So Jacob got married, and that next morning, when there was no veil, he saw that it wasn't Rachel. He didn't marry Rachel. He was tricked. It was Leah. It was Rachel's older sister that he married. He went over to Laban. He said, "What are you doing? I worked 7 years. I worked 7 years for Rachel, and you gave me her older sister Leah?" And Laban had tricked Jacob, just like Jacob had tricked Esau, and just like Jacob had tricked Isaac, his daddy. Now it was Jacob getting tricked this time. And Jacob said, "What can I do to marry Rachel?" And Laban said, "You have to work 7 more years, because you can't marry the youngest daughter first. Everyone has to marry the oldest daughter first." So Jacob said, "Okay, I'll do it. I'll work 7 more years." So while he worked 7 more years, he married Rachel. And this time he was sure it was Rachel. He married Rachel. So Rachel and Leah together and their family, they had 12 sons and 1 daughter together. So with his whole family, Jacob, Leah, and Rachel, and all of his family, he, after 14 years of working for Laban, told Laban, okay, it's now time for me and my family to go. We're getting too big. This is a big family. I have to go find another place to live. So Jacob, he got some sheep and some cows and some goats. He got a lot of animals, and he and all of his people and all of his friends with them and his servants and all of his family, they all went and they started traveling. Well, Jacob heard that Esau, his brother, was looking for him. And that just kind of, Jacob was worried because he thought, well, I ran away years ago, over 14 years ago, because Esau was going to kill me. Is he still mad at me? And so Jacob was walking over a hill and he sees 400 men with Esau. He said, oh no, have they come to kill me? So he tells his family, y'all stay behind me, stay behind me. Whatever happens, don't come after me, stay here. And so he walks forward to meet Esau, and Esau starts running towards him really fast. And Jacob is worried. He's like, oh no, what is he going to do? And Esau goes running towards him. And when Esau gets to Jacob, he hugs Jacob really tight. And Jacob breathes a sigh of relief. You're not mad at me? What's wrong? Are you okay? And Esau says, I forgive you, Jacob. I forgive you. Everything's fine. I forgive you. You're my brother. You're my friend. I forgive you. And Jacob is so happy because he did something wrong. He tricked Esau out of his birthright. Esau has every right to be angry and to hurt Jacob because he took something very important, very valuable from Esau. But Esau says, I forgive you. I'm your friend. It's okay. Everything's okay. So we need to learn this important lesson from Esau and Jacob as well. Even though someone may do something bad to you and say something mean, that doesn't mean that we have to say something bad or be mean to them back. If someone takes something that's ours, we don't need to turn around and take something from them that will hurt them back. So after all those years of Jacob thinking that Esau was mad at him, Esau forgave Jacob, and God continued to bless Jacob. And so let's go ahead and pray. And so go ahead and bow your head and close your eyes. Dear God, thank you for this beautiful day that you give us. Thank you for the breath and air in our lungs that we breathe. Thank you for every boy and girl watching this video. Pray that we would learn to forgive people, just like how Esau learned to forgive Jacob, and how you always forgive us if we ask for forgiveness, and how we do bad things against you. We do bad things against other people. But Lord, you forgive us and you give us the ability to forgive other people. It may be hard. We don't want to do it sometimes, but we do it because you tell us to do it, because you say it's good to do. Thank you for every boy and girl watching this, and please bless everyone and keep everyone safe. And it's in Jesus' name I pray. Amen. So God bless, stay safe, and have a happy day.